Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. It is Thursday, June 27th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey, the geriatric, the puppet, the child sniffer, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs, looks for dead people in the crowd, juices himself up on whatever he needs to be juiced up on to sound somewhat coherent, falls up a flight of stairs. Again, this guy gets lost all the time, can't find his own office, can't find his own damn bedroom, can't find the toilet, so they strap him with a little diaper. This guy is by far, not even close, the worst patriot in American history. Yeah, patriot, because this guy is supposed to encompass all the values that we carry as American citizens, which is patriotism, which is what all you fine patriots hold in the chat. He doesn't do it whatsoever. He doesn't carry the American flag ever. He doesn't sit there and carry American symbolism ever. He doesn't sit there and carry what it means to actually be an American. This guy is not only the worst patriot in American history, he's the worst president in American history. You're damn right, patriots. We're back to be here on this fine Thursday morning. Haven't had one cup of coffee yet. I'll be honest, I'm a little tired, as you can tell. But we're here, baby, and we're going to be doing 2 shows today. Yeah, you heard that correctly. We're going to be going live again tonight at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So it's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a little bit of fun chatting for about 30 minutes, and then we're rolling the dice, baby, on the legal lawsuits with CNN. We're still going to stream it. We're going to stream it together. I will be here. You'll see all my reactions. I'll try not to talk too much, but I think legally we have to give some commentary and some fact checking, which should be pretty easy because Joe Biden's going to just be like, I drove 18 wheelers. No, you didn't. I taught law school at Penn State, the Second Amendment. No, you didn't. And why would you be teaching that anyways when you want to remove everyone's guns? So again, we will be here at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, folks. Would love for you to join us tonight. Have a little bit of fun. So today's theme is we got a lot of new clips for you. We got like 20 new clips. Some of them are all about Joe Biden's team coming out and saying he's juiced up, he's ready to go, grocery prices are down, inflation's down, things have never been better, you're going to be fine, vote Joe for another 4 years, all this bogus stuff. And then we got some news stories about the Supreme Court limiting your freedom of speech, which I still can't wrap my head around this one. And then we're going to talk about illegal immigration because you have DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas coming out and saying, hey, those 400 terrorists that are in the country that we know about, yeah, that's not real. So the guy's gaslighting all of us once again. The lies are coming out. It's a big day. It's a big news day. And folks, we're exposing the lies of the Biden administration. So let's just jump right into it. We have here a Biden spokesperson, you've seen her many, many times, says Crooked Joe won't commit to a drug test for the debate. Really?
President Trump asking President Biden for a drug test going into Thursday night. What's your reaction?
I mean, I don't even really know what to say about that. I worked on Hillary Clinton's campaign. You know, she also debated him very effectively. He accused her of being on drugs.
President Trump asked.
Dude, I mean, she makes the point for us. She should have been drug tested too. Remember when she was like passing out along the campaign trail and that they had to prop her up against like one of those parking posts and she was just like this? And then they like picked her up and like threw her into the van. Do you guys remember that white van? She should have been drug tested too. Like, you're building a case, and why would Joe not take a drug test? You know what I mean? Why would Joe, if he's not on anything, not take a drug test whatsoever? Oh, and so I said it was a white van. It was a black van. So here's the clip. I pulled it up in real time. Do you guys remember this? They propped Hillary up on this like parking guardrail thing. She's not all there. And watch this. Do y'all remember this? Here we go. Oh. Uh-oh. Make sure you block the view. You know, she looks worse than Joey there. So I think he should be drug tested. We did a poll. Over 90% of the audience thinks that Joey should be tested. If you're not on anything, what do you got to lose, man? If you're not on, test them both. I think Donald Trump would pass with flying colors. Joe Biden's going to be pissing 90 proof. Like, this guy is off his rocker. He's not with us. And so now they're chauffeuring out other people that maybe I'm just living under a rock I haven't seen before. He's chauffeuring out other campaign individuals, and they're admitting that Crooked Joe has gotten more done in his first term than any president in modern history. They're still, like, I don't even know at this point, I guess it's quadrupling down, more than that, on this whole idea that he's the best president and that he's done more than anybody else.
Look, I think the president is excited to talk about what he's done, but he's also excited to talk about the future. You know, this is a president who has gotten more done in his first term than any president in modern history. But as you know better than most, Nicole, elections are about the future. So while, you know, we're incredibly proud to have passed the first piece of gun legislation in 30 years, this president believes that in a second term, we have to ban high-capacity magazines. We have to ban assault weapons in this country. Look, I think the president is excited to talk.
Where do you start? Where do you start with this clip? Hold on a second. We're going to go through this and we're going to break it down because I haven't seen this yet.
Look, I think the president is excited to talk about what he's done, but he's also excited to talk about the future.
What has he done? We have so many patriots in the chat. What has he done? What is he going to talk about tonight? Fixing the border? Making sure your grocery prices are down, your gas prices are down? His foreign policy is just really killing it. He's sure getting rid of those terrorists all the while they're here. Like, what is he going to talk about? Well, your inhaler prices are down. Woo! Stop traffic. Notify the newspapers. Like, this guy is sitting there saying, well, he's excited to talk about what he's done, and he's excited to talk about the future. Why? Why, when somebody's probably going to be gone very, very soon, you know what I mean? Why would that be an exciting thing for him to talk about the future? He's not going to be here for it. Interesting.
You know, this is a president who has gotten more done in his first term than any president in modern history.
Folks, do we need any commentary on that part? Like, I guess he's taken more vacations. He's left the Oval Office more times. He's doo-dooed his diaper. I mean, I guess, yeah, on those accounts. This is a senior advisor. Jesus. It's like that senior YouTube person that was helping us, right? The specialist. It's like this guy. Oh.
But as you know better than most, Nicole, elections are about the future. So while, you know, we're incredibly proud to have passed the first piece of gun legislation in 30 years, this president believes that in a second term, we have to ban high-capacity magazines. We have to ban assault weapons in this.
I want to clarify this for you folks. Joe Biden's already said what he meant by assault weapons. Semi-autos. Semi-automatic rifles, semi-automatic guns, just in general. He's already clarified that. So that's what they mean by assault weapons, which is every single firearm out there, by the way. You have, at this point in time, Democrat Party electing a president who is full-fledged against going with the Bill of Rights and upholding the Constitution. So he took an oath and he lied about it. Right there in the Bible, but he's Catholic, right? He's the most Catholic president, religious president that's ever existed, according to jean-pierre. He took an oath, but he's going to be sure to limit your freedom of speech and your Second Amendment rights. Oh, we'll get to it, but that's a little bit of an explanation there. So you got jean-pierre, the other spokesperson, maybe the main spokesperson, going around, and we watched this clip yesterday saying grocery prices are down when they're up 40%, by the way.
So yes, you know, eggs and milk, and there were grocery things that were up. It has gone down. It has gone down since 2022. Gas prices, because of the actions that this president took, and let's not forget there was an invasion, but Russia did obviously into Ukraine that caused gas prices to tick up. The president took action, tapped the SPR, and we saw gas prices go down. The president has met the moment with every issue that we have had in front of us. So yes, you know, eggs and milk, and
really every issue. Russia, Ukraine, still an ongoing issue, hasn't solved. So maybe he is talking about every issue, I guess. I'm not really sure what is he fixed. He's only made everything worse. Groceries are up like 40 to 70%. This is like the one thing that people can do that don't need to see a poll or some research information out there. You can go do it yourself. We all go to the grocery store every week or every 2 weeks, however how often you go. I mean, you can see it for yourself that grocery prices are going up. I used to get what was called these California pizza kitchens. They're pizzas. They're frozen pizzas in the frozen food aisle. And they were $5.99 before Joe Biden took office. They are $8.99. I was just looking at it yesterday. $8.99. $5.99 to $8.99. I mean, you could do the math on that one. A bag of chips, like a bag of Lay's or Doritos, $6.99 at the store. I'm not paying $7 for a bag of chips. You're out of your mind. Cereals, $5.99, $6.99 a box. Dude, meaning Brad don't eat cereal anymore. And I ain't eating a bag of chips unless, you know, I'm sitting there and feeling pretty good about myself. I'm spending $7 on a bag of chips, thanks to Joe Biden. And here they are again. Here they are again. All his spokespeople, everything's down, just straight up lying.
When it comes to prices, President Biden has done a lot to lower prices. Of course, we came off of a once-in-a-generation pandemic that President Biden made sure we didn't go into a recession because of the policies he put in place. When it comes to prices, President Biden has done a lot to lower prices. Of course, we came off of a once-in-a-generation pandemic.
Dude, it's 4 years ago, lady. 4 years ago, and they're still using this. And that's why you had Kamala Harris come out and say, well, we need another 4 years to figure this out. Even though they promised on the campaign trail in 2020, we got this covered. Joe Biden knows what he's doing. He's the most fit person to be in office. Not physically, obviously that would be a lie, but so would him being fit enough in a way of being in politics his entire life. That's what should allow him to be president and fix this. Well, he's been in the Oval Office. He's Barack Obama's vice president. He was in the Senate. He knows how to do everything. Isn't this a case in point that maybe we should have term limits, that these actual people don't know what the fuck they're doing? And that's why you have gas up 44%, electricity up 29%, groceries up 21% minimum. Rent is up 21%. I mean, these people don't know what they're doing. And speaking of people that don't know what they're doing, that are willing to lie to you, you got Crazy Nancy coming up, leading in the world in reducing inflation is what she has to say. Joe Biden is leading us into the reduction of inflation, I guess.
So then you look at something else. People are concerned about inflation. 16 Nobel laureates came out this week and said that if what's-his-name were elected president with his fiscal policies, inflation would just increase enormously in our country.
Just increase.
And you have Joe Biden on the other side of that screen leading the world in reducing inflation in our country. So then you look at something.
Stop it, Nancy. It's too early. Stop it. She's fully smiling right now, by the way, you guys. You can't tell, but she is from cheek to cheek, fully smiling. Any further, her face might fall off. But don't worry, Biden has overseen 38 straight months of sky-high inflation, folks. The worst inflation crisis since the 80s. 40 years since we've seen something like this. I hadn't even been alive. But don't worry. Joe Biden's on top of it, you guys. He's going to figure it out. And you bet your ass there's going to be millions of Democrats that still love this crap. I'm telling you, that's true. It's true. There's a lot of Democrats that are in the military. They love this country, but some of them are still going to vote for Joe Biden because it doesn't matter how high the inflation goes. It doesn't matter how bad crime gets. It doesn't matter how many wars there are. It doesn't matter how many homeless people are in their localities. None of that matters. They have Trump derangement syndrome so bad that they will just vote for Joe. Why not just vote for nobody at the top of the ticket? Like, leave it blank then. I don't want to sit here and continue to have massive premiums on medical expensive going up, or my insurance, renter's insurance going up, mortgage insurance is going up, grocery, literally everything's gone up 20%. Has anything actually gone down? Are we paying for anything cheaper now than we were when Trump was in office? No, not whatsoever. But here's the same Biden spokesperson coming out, TJ Ducklow, regurgitates the bloodbath hoax to call President Trump an existential urgent threat to democracy. Awesome.
Trump is a existential, urgent threat to our democracy. He promises to rule as a dictator on day one, promises a bloodbath if he loses, promises to replace civil servants with his loyalists. So that's the contrast I think folks are going to see tomorrow night, and we're excited to make it. Trump is a existential.
Would you guys trust this guy with your kids? He's an existential threat to democracy. If you weren't here, the other day we did an article on DHS, an advisory board that included the former CIA director, Tapper, and then the other director was Brennan. And I think Brennan was a former CIA director. Doesn't matter. These guys sat there and said anybody that is a Trump supporter, anybody that's ever served in the military, and anybody that's religious is a terror risk to the United States of America. That's probably all of us in this chat were a threat to democracy. You're an extremist because you want to make America great again. You're an extremist because you want lower taxes. You're an extremist because you want to feed your family at a cheaper price. You're an extremist because you want people to have jobs and flourish and do well. You're an extremist because you want your freedom of speech to be there and your Second Amendment to protect yourself. You're an extremist, you guys. Oh, you're racist, you're bigots, you're sexist, you're homophobes. Just tack it on the list. You're a terrorist now. Oh, these people are idiots, man. Idiots. We're exposing all the lies today. Oh, dude, we're not even close to freaking being done. So this mid-level guy, J.D. Ducklow, again, who resigned from the White House in disgrace, by the way, after he threatened a female reporter. That tells you everything you need to know about this guy. He falsely claims Trump has only done 1 or 2 interviews. Mind you, Trump has been on endless podcasts. Like, you can't even get this guy off people's podcasts. He's on so many.
The president will be ready, and he'll be ready to talk about how toxic Donald Trump's agenda is and to make him defend his record. Donald Trump has really only done 1 or 2 mainstream television live interviews since January the 6th. He has not had the opportunity to really be questioned about his record. So we're looking forward to the voters and folks at home who are going to tune in tomorrow night, really exploring Donald Trump's record, maybe for the first time in a while, versus the hard work that the president is doing every day to actually deliver results for the American people. The president will be ready, and he'll be ready to talk.
Do you know why they do this? Because, again, as we mentioned, most Americans don't watch this stuff. A lot of them are starting to get into it now because it's debate night. It's a big night. It's a big day. And so this guy and the Biden team, they know that this is probably really some of the first messaging that a lot of Americans are hearing. And so now they're going to hear, whoa, Joe Biden's doing a lot, man. He's really working the White House. He's exercising. He's fit. He's mentally sharp. Wow, Donald Trump has only done 2 interviews since January 6th. Oh, God, January 6th, there was an insurrection and the government was being taken over and people died, which is all lies, by the way. But this is what they do because they know that they're capitalizing on the moment of Americans just finally tuning in and they can get this messaging across. And it's complete bullshit. It's a complete lie. And they're getting away with it. But we're not going to allow it to happen here on the show. But we know what the hell is going on. And so Joe Biden's obviously going to be juiced up tonight. He's going to be on something. There's no way in hell they're going to chauffeur this guy out on a gurney. He's, I'm Joe Biden and I'm for president. Like, no way in hell. So Joe Biden says that he's going to be juiced up. It's so good.
On board Air Force One, the president and I talked about how energized he is to take on Donald Trump, his likely opponent. Biden told me every time he hears Trump speak, he gets, quote, juiced up. On board Air Force One, the president.
I just love the fact that they're talking about how excited he's going to be and like energized, but yet he has to grab onto the table just to be able to move himself in a chair.
And I talked about how energized he is to take on Donald Trump, his likely opponent. Biden.
Get him a high chair. Uh-huh. He just needs one of those like Dr. Evil chairs, you know, go, I'm Dr. Evil. I want $1 billion for Ukraine. So we're not done. We're still going. They're doing a whole media movement, you guys, today. Remember, they got 16 advisors to help Joe Biden with the speech. They're training Joe to stand for 90 minutes. They're treating this like they're going into the Olympics. Like this is like the Stanley Cup final. They're going out there and sending out everybody they have. So here's another spokesman. You've seen 4 people now going out there trying to get his message across. And Fox is saying it's game over if it doesn't go well for Biden tonight. And this is what junior Biden spokesman has to say about that.
Do you agree with him? It's game over if it doesn't go well for Biden tonight?
Well, listen, the president is ready. He's excited to debate tonight. I think if you want to talk about Donald Trump, he's obviously not going to present the Donald Trump who's been out at his MAGA rallies on the stump. But the problem for Trump is that he's going to have to answer for all the things he has been saying at those MAGA rallies. He's going to have to answer for the role that he played in overturning Roe v. Wade. He's out there on the stump saying the extreme state level abortion bans that he's responsible for are working out brilliantly. He's going to have to answer for the threat that he continues to pose to American democracy.
Do you agree with him? It's game over.
There you go. He's a threat to democracy. All the while, one, we're a republic, but that's here nor there. All the while, the Biden administration, remember when they tried to implement the Ministry of Truth to tell you what you can and can't say? Do you guys remember that? It happened like 2 years ago, and they were telling you that it wasn't happening? Remember how the Democrat Party utilized big tech to censor conservatives in the 2016 and 2020 election, and it's also happening now? We did a poll. I'm going to keep saying it. A lot of people think we're being shadow banned here. You got to be off your fucking rocker if you think that we only get 200 or 300 views of video with 59,000 subscribers. Dude, we got freaking 45 people in here alone right now, live. That doesn't count for Rumble and Twitter. They're sitting there bullshitting us left and right. They're censoring conservatives. We know they're doing it on Facebook. It's happening to the Daily Wire. Dan Bongino, YouTube actually removed him from YouTube. Dan Bongino's no longer allowed to be on YouTube. They did it to Alex Jones. They did it to Nick Fuentes. They did it to Ben Shapiro. They did it to Michael Knowles. They did it to Charlie Kirk. They did it to Candace Owens. Like, we can name the actual people. You know when the Democrat Party goes, there's racism out there. Okay, who are the racists? I don't know, but it's out there. At least when I say, hey, they're actively censoring people. Cool. Who is it? YouTube, the people at the top, the executives. And who are they doing it to? Here's a list of names. Facebook did it. So they did that in conjunction with big tech during the campaign. They were actively doing it, chiseling away at people's First Amendment rights. They were telling you things were disinformation, misinformation. They actually signed on and saying that it wasn't legit. The Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real. You were a threat if you were to even talk about it. You couldn't talk about COVID-19. Y'all remember that? We spent 4 years, we couldn't say a single damn thing about COVID-19 or else we'd be removed and deplatformed. And now what they're doing is they're doing the exact same thing when it comes to freedom of speech, and we'll get to that in just one moment. Now, we are doing a debate live tonight, folks. We will be streaming live tonight starting at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll spend 30 minutes going over their lies once again. We'll have a bingo board probably if you guys want to do that again. We'll check it off. You can do a drinking game if you would like. And we'll have some fun together tonight. So, and maybe have a lawsuit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So this is what the debate's going to look like at least. I don't know if you guys saw this, but CNN came out and showed what everything looks like and how the mics are going to work. So I want to present that to you guys so we kind of know what the hell's going on.
If we go behind the podiums, you can see 2 green lights. When they're on, they signal to the candidate his microphone is on. When the green lights are off, they signal to the candidate his microphone is off. Now I want to give you a sense of what it will look like for viewers at home if a candidate whose microphone is off interrupts a candidate whose microphone is on. So I'm standing at one podium, and I'll ask Phil to come in and take the other podium. And so let's say I'm answering a question. My light is green, and I'm speaking. Phil's microphone is off, and his green lights are not illuminated. He's going to interrupt me as I'm speaking, and this is what it will sound like. My volume remains constant, while Phil's interruption can be difficult to understand.
Let's try the opposite. My microphone is now on. Victor's microphone is off, and he's going to interrupt me. My volume remains constant, while Victor's interruption can be difficult to understand. Now, CNN's production team has shared this demonstration with the campaigns earlier today, and we're sharing it with you, our viewers, so everyone fully understands how tomorrow night will work. Now, we should note, by agreeing to participate in this debate, both campaigns and candidates have also agreed to abide by these rules. The CNN presidential debate airs live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, no joke. What would you guys do if like Biden's talking and it just shows Biden full screen like this? And then you see Trump come over and grab the mic. He's a fucking liar. Crooked Joe, you're lying to the American people. And just gives him back his mic and walks back over. What are you gonna do, CNN? You gonna find me? I'm a fucking billionaire. Yeah, what a savage moment. Kind of like that time when he was in a foreign country and he pushed that one like prime minister aside and like just went right in front of him. Just doing the same thing to Biden, just pushing him off his podium. Get the fuck out of the way, Biden. All right, well, we got more news out here. We got the people blaming us again. You know, it's similar to Joe Biden blaming us for what's going on at the border. It's all conservative Republicans' fault. In the same way, Newsom has the balls to sit there and say that it's conservatives and delusional California bashers for a state's failure. Unbelievable. So California Governor Gavin Newsom, the psycho, blamed the political right for the failures of his state during the 2024 State of the State address. Who the hell calls it that? That critics sounded like a campaign launch event. There is rumors out there that if Joe Biden doesn't perform tonight, he's going to get the axe. And this is a possibility of who they're going to put forward. The guy that ruined the state of California, or one of them, wants to now ruin the country. So in his stupid ass 28-minute speech, it was short because what else are you going to talk about? There was nothing going on other than how you're destroying this state. Claimed that right-wing forces were threatening the very foundation of California's success. The same thing that Joe Biden's talking about. Well, the Republicans are a threat to democracy. They're a threat to the institution. The Republic's gonna fall. Look what you guys are doing to the state, the localities, the entire United States. And that California culture was the antidote to the poisonous populism of the right and the fear and anxiety that so many people are feeling today. No, the fear and anxiety is coming from the fact that you sit there and allow people to commit crimes, smash and grabs, to the point where businesses don't even want to be in San Francisco or Sacramento anymore. They don't want to be in Los Angeles. That's why you have Rite Aid, Walgreens, REI, In-N-Out, entire malls closing down. They're all leaving. CVS is gone. Like, all these people are leaving your state, dude, because you suck at it. You suck at running things. And now you're going to blame it on us for some reason? Why is it that everybody wants to leave your state? Nobody wants to really come here, nor can they really afford it. The California way of life we recognize is under attack. Yes, by you. See what they do? Everything they talk about is just a projection of what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's somebody else's fault. It's Republicans' fault. No, it's Democrats' fault. Well, Republicans did this. Anything that they say, just take the opposite of, that they're the ones that they're at fault for at the end of the day. For conservatives and delusional California bashers, now you're delusional, you guys. There you go. There's another one for you. So you're an extremist, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe. Hell, you're a terrorist now. You're a threat. Well, now you're delusional. You know, kind of like how Hillary Clinton comes out and says, oh, well, they're all bigots. Half the country's bigots. You're all delusional, you guys. Everything you're seeing around you is not real. We saw this messaging, right? They said that they're cheap fakes. They're deep fakes at the end of that clip that Karine Jean-Pierre said. Well, you know, now you're just delusional. Isn't this like a slap in the face to Democrats too, though? Like, hey, hand to God, is there any Democrats or independents in here? Isn't that a slap in the face to all of you as well? That what you're seeing isn't actually taking place. It's not real. So for conservatives and delusional California bashers, their success depends on our failure. I don't want the state to fail. Why would I? If the state fails, that causes everything to go up. It's more expensive for me. When you allow more crime to happen and flourish in the state of California, insurance prices go up. And when insurance prices go up, the business owners have to charge more for that product that previously was cheaper when there wasn't a lot of, crime happening. And so because their insurance rates have to go up and they have to hire security and camera and technology and all these other things, well, that causes my product that I want to purchase to go up too, Gavin. No, I don't want your failure to happen in the same way I don't want the United States failure to happen. What an idiotic thing to say. And they want to impeach the very things that have made us successful as a tactic to turn America toward a darker future. Dude, LA looks like a third world, it looks like an apocalypse. Just Google, YouTube, any videos about downtown LA and just have somebody walk around, and it looks like an insane asylum. What they did was they took everybody that was originally in an insane asylum to get help and seek the help that they need. They get meals, they get showers, all those things. They have them on the streets now, running around free. It's like that movie Shutter Island, but there's no limits. It's just an entire county that they have to roam free in. They want to roll back social progress, social justice, racial justice, economic justice, clean air, clean water, and basic fundamental fairness. Hey, dumbass Gavin, it was the Republicans that led to a lot of freedoms for all the racial injustices that you're talking about, you dumbass. God, these people are stupid. It's the Republican Party that's the party of racism. No, it's not. You're the party of the Klan, you psycho. You're the party that didn't want to advance civil rights. If it wasn't for the Republican votes, you wouldn't have the civil rights that you have. We're the party, man. We're the party that actually wants freedom of speech in the Second Amendment. Your party's trying to diminish it. And it's not just that they're trying to diminish that, they're also trying to sit there and hide shit from us. And we'll call this one back because the debate's coming up. And remember that none of this was real originally last election. None of this regarding Hunter Biden's laptop was real. Hey, random question for the chat. Is my screen a little bit grayed out? Is it not bright for all of you? Let me know in the live chat. Is it bright or is it kind of dim? It looks dim on my screen over here. I want to make sure this is clean because we're going live tonight. We got to have a good production. I know we're doing it live, right? We're here live, folks. We got Sweet Sunset in the chat, Fallen Angels. We got Todd. We got Patrick. We got Jeff. We got Danielle. We got a lot of people here. It looks fine. Okay, yeah, it's like super dim on my other monitor. I don't know why I'm going like this. I look like Joe. Oh, where do I go? Where's my monitor? There you go. See, it is a bit dim. It's a bit blurred. That's weird. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, we'll have to figure that out for show prep. So maybe I'll stay live a little bit longer and you guys can watch me do some weird stuff, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So some of the intelligence veterans who signed the infamous letter. Well, what's blurry? Is it me that's blurry? Do I need to go back a little? Infamous letter used to discredit the Hunter Biden laptop story weeks before the 2020 presidential election were on the CIA's payroll. Oh, who could have figured our intelligence apparatus was lying? Oh, but there's a reason why Donald Trump didn't trust the CIA, and it pissed them off. There was a story years ago that came out on how these intelligence officials were really upset with the way that Donald Trump was talking about them. And Donald Trump wasn't willing to utilize a lot of their intelligence because he didn't trust them. Well, it kind of gives you a lot of reason to not trust them when they sat there and they're on the CIA's payroll and you have one of the former directors of the CIA signing on to the infamous Hunter Biden laptop that isn't real, it's Russian disinformation. So congressional investigators found out that of the 51 signatories, former deputy CIA director, former CIA inspector general were actively working with the CIA as contractors when the statement was published. The weaponization of the federal government panel said the revelation raises concerns that these officials may have abused their positions to expedite the statement's approval and may have been earning taxpayer dollars while they did it. So they're reaming you from behind and you're paying them for it. All the while, you don't want it. You don't want that kind of service. You don't want to be reamed from behind, but they're going to give it to you anyways, and they're going to charge you for it. Folks, it's the same thing that they did from the FBI with Peter Strzok and Ellen Page, or whatever the hell her name was, Elise Page. I can't remember her name. Doesn't really matter. But them sitting there spreading all this stuff. Remember, they were texting each other. Oh, screw that guy. We're going to get his ass out of office. We're going to do this and that. Well, it was real. It was real. I just want to more or less bring up to you guys the fact that contractors were now signed with the CIA that were all part of this whole thing as well. Wild freaking stuff. So here's the actual document itself. Just want to bring this up. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. It's too small, but we'll try it anyways. It says here, the former intelligence officials sought to cast an explosive New York Post story in Hunter Biden abandoned laptop as Russian disinformation. Folks, the former intelligence officials, it's right there. President Biden even cited to the statement in a televised debate with President Trump shortly before the election to accuse President Trump of leaving false accusations, of leveling rather. As a result, the explosive allegations about Biden family misconduct were buried, and millions of Americans cast their votes for president without the full set of facts. It's right there. There you go. We bring the receipts. It's right there for all of you. You're delusional. You're delusional, though, you guys. That's what we're told. We make all this up. We're conspiracy theorists. We pull it out of our you-know-what. We're a bunch of liars. No. It's the Biden administration that are liars. It's the Biden administration that doesn't want the truth to come out. It's the Biden administration in conjunction with Merrick Garland that don't want you to know things. That's really what's going on here. I mean, we saw that again in 2020, saw it in 2016, silencing conservatives, using big tech to do it. I mean, look what they did with Twitter, you guys. Thank God Elon Musk has Twitter. Now we can have our free speech flourish in some way, shape, or form, but they don't want information to come out. And so that's why you got Representative Paulina Luna putting forth to basically hold Merrick Garland in contempt and arrest the guy. So if he doesn't do this by tomorrow, if he doesn't bring forth the records, the audio from Joe Biden's deposition, dude's going to be locked up. And you got a lot of people behind him here. You got a lot of people behind her here, rather, to throw Merrick Garland behind bars.
Of Justice under Attorney General Merrick Garland has displayed a blatant disregard for this body. By refusing to comply with two lawful subpoenas, Attorney General Garland has violated our authority and undermined the integrity of this institution. Earlier this month, we voted to hold Attorney General Garland in criminal contempt of Congress. However, the Department of Justice informed Speaker Mike Johnson that they would not prosecute the AG for this contempt. This response, while expected, sets a dangerous precedent. If the executive branch can simply ignore Congress without any consequences, it threatens the very function and foundation of our democratic process. When an individual refuses to comply with Congress's request, we are left with three options: criminal, civil, or inherent contempt. Now, both criminal and civil contempt rely on the executive branch for enforcement, which clearly is not going to happen in this case. The Founding Fathers designed our government to protect our freedoms, to stand against tyranny, and to combat an all-powerful executive branch. Inherent contempt is our constitutional authority to hold individuals accountable directly. This power allows Congress to detain and try individuals who defy our subpoenas. It is a crucial tool that ensures we can fulfill our legislative responsibilities independently. In the House Rules and Manual.
So spot on right there. But, Merrick Garland doesn't care. And I say lock the guy up. Lock the guy up. He doesn't want to sit there. Isn't it astonishing that you have an attorney general that doesn't actually want to follow the law? What do you have to hide, man? Well, I mean, if the audio's not bad, what do you have to hide? If Joe Biden isn't on drugs, why not give him a drug test? It kind of makes you think the opposite, right? We all know that Joe Biden was fumbling through his words on the deposition. He didn't know when his own son died. You guys, that's a terrible thing for anybody to go through. And look, a lot of us don't like Joe. I get it. But still, it's his son. You know what I mean? He's a father. In the same way that if your father or mother passed away, like that would be detrimental. You'd probably know the date for the rest of your life. You'd probably know where you were. It's a big life event for anybody. The dude couldn't recall. He didn't know when he was vice president. These aren't like, hey, you know what, Mr. President? In the classified documents that you had in your garage next to your shitty Corvette, on fifth page in on this file labeled 2-3.05, squirrely, blah, blah, blah. In the third word in, can you recall what that said? It wasn't like that. Mr. President, what's your fucking name, buddy? Mr. President, hey, and forgive the cussing. I apologize, folks. We're trying to work on it. We're trying to better ourselves. Mr. President, what's your favorite ice cream? Couldn't you remember that? Now, they didn't ask him those questions. They asked him what his name was, and he got that right, surprisingly. But, again, that's here nor there. But don't worry, you guys. They're here to uphold the Constitution. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution and follow how things are supposed to work, except the Supreme Court yesterday kind of said a little bit otherwise. The Supreme Court rejects conservative challenge to Biden admin pressuring social media companies to remove content. You guys, we're going to do this whole thing because this is big news. This is big. I can't even express it. This affects me personally and my channel. A lot of anybody that does like influencing. We're not an influencer here, but we just bring you the news. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday threw out a challenge brought by 2 Republican state officials and conservative social media users challenging the White House's pressure campaigns on social media companies to remove what the Biden administration deems as misinformation. Basically, if the Biden administration deems anything I post or somebody else's post as misinformation, guess what happens to that? Bye-bye. It's gone. You guys, these are the people that just got done last week saying everything that you saw about Joe Biden is cheap fakes. They're not real because they're cut up. Of course, we're going to cut it up. We're not going to give you an hour-long clip of Joey. We need to find the parts where, yeah, he's fumbling through his words. Here's 20 of them in the span of an hour. You guys, this is insane. So in a 6-3 decision with Justice Amy Coney Barrett writing the majority opinion, the court ruled that the plaintiffs did not have standing to bring the case. The High Court did not rule on any of the First Amendment questions raised by the plaintiffs, which included the Attorney General of Missouri and Louisiana, along with 5 conservative social media users. Now, to kind of bring more to this, I believe that they just didn't have enough to make a claim to have standing, and so they need to bring up this case again, I believe. Now, don't hold me to that, but I think that's what needs to happen here. In her majority opinion, Barrett wrote, to establish standing, the plaintiffs must demonstrate a substantial risk that in the near future, they will suffer an injury. There's a key term and word, injury, that is traceable to a government defendant and redressable by the injunction they seek. Because no plaintiff has carried that burden, none has standing to seek a preliminary injunction. Basically, she's just saying it doesn't meet the qualifications that we need to be able to move forward with this and move forward with whatever you're trying to present us. And I do understand that, but at the end of the day, it's not a good look and a good move for us. And you bet your ass it's going to come back again. Barrett acknowledged that there is evidence showing that the White House played a role in moderating content on social media. That's a big statement. Why would they be doing that? Why would they be moderating anything? Why would they be moderating people's First Amendment right to free speech at all? Really weird. Because we were told, again, none of this was taking place, right? We were told that, hey, they're all for free speech, all for your Constitution Amendment. We're told we're the threat to democracy. We're a threat to the republic. Really? Really? Because it sounds a lot like the Biden administration kind of doing some foozery here. This is, you guys, this is important. We're like 3 months out from the election, 3 or 4 months. I told you this was going to happen, right? Did we not call this like a month ago, 2 months ago, when I said, wait, there's going to be some bleep hitting the fan? Now they have the right to sit there and remove people's information. They're hey, you know what? Let's call YouTube. Let's remove Brad's videos. I'm a small channel, but let's remove it. Let's make sure it doesn't get out there. And they have every right to do it now. The plaintiff cited Facebook restricting a Louisiana state representative's post about the COVID vaccine, arguing that the post was targeted because of the Biden administration's pressure on the big tech company. Barrett, however, wrote in her opinion that there was no evidence to support the state's allegations. Dude, that one's wild. That one's wild. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito penned the dissent, writing that the case was one of the most important free speech cases to reach this court in years. And I couldn't agree with this guy more. What do y'all think about this one in the live chat? I see you guys, our minds are blown about this. Pat has the head exploding. Oh yeah, dude, this is wild. So it says here, Alito added the Biden administration's actions were unconstitutional, coercive, and dangerous. Yes, it was blatantly unconstitutional, and the country may come to regret the court's failure to say so. That's why I said this was a big deal, regardless of whether there was enough information or not. At the end of the day, you could still always rely on the fact that people have the right to say what they want to say. So even without the kind of enough burden of proof to present your case, you should still not allow it to happen, because you limiting people's speech goes against the very thing that was enshrined through the founding of this country and the most important documents that we have, meaning the Constitution. For months, high-ranking government officials placed unrelenting pressure on Facebook to suppress Americans' free speech because the court unjustifiably refuses to address this serious threat to the First Amendment. I respectfully dissent. You guys, this is wild, man. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey reacted to the court's decision, writing that the ruling does not dispute that the deep state pressure and coerced social media companies to take down truthful speech simply because it was conservative. Folks, just to let you know, the FBI showed up to Zuckerberg and knocked on the guy's door and implied, hey, you need to start removing stuff. He talked about it on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was clear as day about it. I mean, we saw the Twitter files. We saw all the Twitter files, all the stuff that came out working with the Biden administration to suppress speech. So why is the Supreme Court acting like this is no big deal? The Daily Wire is suing the Biden administration. They're damn right. The Biden administration in a separate social media censorship case, alleging that the U.S. State Department is engaging with and promoting censorship technology designed to bankrupt domestic media outlets with disfavored political opinions. God, it sounds a lot like what I've been saying is going on with some channel called Mine. And you're going to continue for me to push this. Could I be wrong, you guys? I could be wrong that YouTube is sitting there shadow banning us, but I think we're all in agreement here. When somebody has 60,000 subscribers and they're getting 200 to 300 views, it's a little weird. Could my content be shit? Absolutely. I'm more than willing to take credit for that. But I don't know. We peaked at 70 people looking. We're in here with 54 freaking patriots that love the show. So I don't know. It must be doing something right. Must be doing something right. So here's Alito's dissent. This is what he wrote. He said, "That is regrettable. What the officials did in this case was more subtle than the ham-hand censorship found to be unconstitutional in Vulo, but it was no less coercive. And because of the perpetrator's high positions, it was even more dangerous. It was blatantly unconstitutional, and the country may come to regret the court's failure to say so. Officials who read today's decision together with, is it Vulo? Is that how you say that? Will get the message. If a coercive campaign is carried out with enough sophistication, it may get by. And that is not a message this court should send." Dude, this is this took a big crap on people's First Amendment rights. That includes all of you, by the way. You already talk about it. You guys write it in the comment sections. I've had to leave this comment 8 times. I've had to rephrase it. It keeps getting deleted. YouTube won't let me post it. I've been banned for 24 hours. I can't do this or that. This doesn't just apply to me. This applies to all of you. What you're writing in the chat right now or leaving in the comment section could very well be deleted. I don't delete people's chats. I don't delete people's messages. Dude, I've had people threaten to kill me and I leave it up. That's evidence, but I don't do any of that. So this applies if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're anywhere now, if the Biden administration deems that what you're posting is misinformation, you're going to have that removed. So the ruling that plaintiffs lack standing means the case will return to lower federal courts, which is what I mentioned, and it may return to SCOTUS in the future. That is correct. But anytime an American citizen has their constitutionally protected speech curtailed or censored, by the way, by their own government, the injury's obvious, and therefore they have standing. Now, injury is a tough one, especially when you're dealing with law. I don't want to get into it, but I think it's going to be brought up again, folks. So there you have it. Your freedom of speech is being freaking limited. You also have the U.S. Special Forces. They're warning the U.S. faces serious risk of getting hit by a major Islamic terrorist attack. Why would that happen? Why would we get hit by a major terrorist attack? Everything's fine. We're totally secure. The border's secure. We were told so. I mean, the guy that's running it, Alejandro Mayorkas, the DHS secretary, told Congress. Why would he lie? There's not 10 million illegal aliens. There's not thousands of terrorists in this country that we know about. No, none of that's happening, guys. It's all fake. It's fake news. It's fake news. A group I'm being facetious, by the way. You guys know I'm joking. There's thousands of terrorists in this country. The border's wide open. They're not doing anything about it whatsoever. So this is why it's taking place. And now you have a group representing U.S. Special Forces warned in a letter this week that the U.S. faces an ultra-high threat. Not just a high threat. They're like, shit is blinking everywhere. Like, lights are going off, waving the flag. Like, holy shit, man. Like, dude, they're like, hey, buddy, wake up, Joey. Wake up. Wake up, Joe. And getting hit by a major Islamic terror attack because President Joe Biden's disastrous foreign policy and open border policies. Dude, Russia was just attacked again last week by a terrorist attack. That's twice in what, like 2 months? It's astonishing that nothing's happened here yet. Special Operations Association of America, I didn't even know there was such a thing, said in a letter that the organization was gravely concerned by the current heightened risk of terrorist attacks against targets inside the U.S. and both U.S. and allied interests abroad. Dude, what are the odds? Here's a conspiracy theorist for y'all. What are the odds that because Joe Biden's sending billions of dollars to just everybody, that basically he's funding these terrorists, and these terrorists are holding off attack until after he's elected? What are the odds? What are the odds? I don't know. Conspiracy theories. The organization, which represents thousands of Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, Marine Raiders, Air Force Commandos, I mean, these are some serious guys, said that Biden's disastrous pullout from Afghanistan was a key reason why the threat environment was so high. Oh, you mean the fact that we left, billions of dollars of military-grade equipment to the Taliban? Do you mean that Joe Biden, people are thinking, Brad, that's a crazy conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Joe Biden is giving the Taliban listen carefully, $40 to $87 million a week. He's giving the Taliban, on top of the fact that he left billions of dollars of military equipment there when he pulled out. Black Hawks, machine guns, ammo, gear, gloves, night vision, like all of it was left there, you guys. Humvees, tanks, well, they sat there and made it unusable. You don't think that some other government like the Iranians are going to come in and fix it up because you took out the spark plugs? Ooh. No, they're going to sit there and utilize this stuff. And there was rumors out there that some of this stuff is being used by the Houthis, Hamas, and others to carry out attacks across the globe and also against the Israelis. Biden's pullout left the U.S. without a viable stay-behind or over-the-horizon counterterrorism and intelligence capability to suppress threats. Because that's a very fancy way of saying we don't know what these people are doing now. Before we did, it was going to help us stop whatever attack was going to take place. But because we don't really have a presence there anymore, or at least that's what we're leading them to believe, we don't know what's going to happen now. So now we have the United States has lost its significant intelligence collection capabilities. Just lovely. So we spent 20 years gathering intelligence, having boots on the ground, knowing what the hell is going to go on so we don't have another 9/11 again. And basically, this is our own government leading us to have basically another 9/11 again. Just lovely. But don't worry, you guys. Mayorkas has this handled. Mayorkas is doing everything he possibly can to make sure that terrorists aren't coming through our southern border. Here he is just yesterday.
Why do voters feel like Donald Trump can handle it better in poll after poll?
Kate, look, the fact of the matter is our policy is working. Our policies are working. We need our system fixed. The numbers that we inherited in 2021 were on the cusp of the COVID-19 pandemic and do not speak to the trends in immigration preceding the pandemic. What we have done, what this administration has done, is we have brought the economy moving forward. We have conquered the COVID-19 pandemic more rapidly and more effectively than any other country. And so with a booming economy and with a healthy American public, we have regained our stature as the place of destination where everyone wants the opportunities that only America offers.
Why do voters...
You guys, I really do believe this guy's evil. It's like Adam Schiff evil. I mean, how many clips have we showed of this guy just straight up lying? Just don't worry, guys. They figured it out, right? They got the economy figured out. They got the border figured out. They got everything figured out. If that's the case, Mr. Mayorkas, then why is another little girl being raped again? A girl just 12 years old the other day was raped and killed and murdered by an illegal immigrant, allegedly. And now we have an illegal immigrant has been arrested for allegedly raping a 15-year-old girl in his car in upstate New York. Got a constant theme here, isn't it? It's weird how story after story like this is coming out, huh? So this psycho allegedly forced the girl into his car in Albany in the early hours of May 14th after threatening her with a metal pipe. He hails from Turkey and then allegedly took the girl's clothes off and raped her. The filing charges. He was nabbed last week and charged with first-degree rape. Court records show he has an address listed in Troy, New York, but he is not a U.S. citizen. Sanctuary state, you guys. Sanctuary city, right to shelter, according to Mayor Eric Adams of the Democrat Party. They are sheltering these people, you guys. They are harboring these people. When I say that they are harboring terrorists, I mean that in all literal sense. Democrats are actually giving safe haven to terrorists. Let that sink in. Look at these cities where those 8 ISIS terrorists were at. Just look at those cities for me, where they apprehended those 8 ISIS terrorists. Just look at them. There's a weird theme there with the Democrat Party. Don't worry, they got it solved, you guys. They're taking care of it. So you have Peter Doocy's wife coming up and asking junior Democrat Representative Mac Frost about this idea of, aren't the murders of the U.S. citizens by illegals? Like, aren't those taking place? This is what this guy had to say. Just listen to his words carefully because it's freaking head bending.
Isn't the crime preventable if parole were not happening of people who are going to end up killing people in this country?
Because a very small percentage of immigrants did something bad, we shouldn't allow the parole program for all people. The question is, because 1 or 2 people did something horrible, we should rip away the benefit from everybody else. And we don't use that logic for anything else in this country.
Isn't the crime preventable?
Dude, notice he's like, immigrants. No. We're talking about illegal immigrants. They're not capable of doing this, you guys. They are really not. It's one of the most astonishing things, other than Joe Biden fighting with this teleprompter every day and losing. They can't sit there and separate legal versus illegal. Legal versus illegal. You guys see that? You guys see this here? Legal, illegal. They can't do it. They can't do it. It's astonishing to me. There might have been a Democrat that stumbled in here and goes, holy shit, I got it now. And so the American people are wondering, what kind of process and vetting are they actually doing? Because the DHS Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, is denying the report that the ISIS-linked terrorists are coming across the border. He full-fledged denied it, so this clip is kind of long, but it's really a remarkable thing.
And saying that the reporting was incorrect. I just want to get your reaction to his statements and to share what you know about this developing story.
Well, look, I think the Biden administration and the secretary have a credibility problem with the American people, right? They told us for years that the border was closed and the border was secure. So I think there's an issue that maybe perhaps the American people don't believe what the secretary is saying. But if he has data, if he has facts that shows that that reporting is inaccurate, I think it's incumbent upon him to share that with the American people. Members of Congress are still trying to get facts on the 8 Tajikistan nationals that were released into the country, and they still don't have that information. The department does. The department should be sharing that with congressional oversight members. So there's a credibility problem here. But again, if there are facts that he is aware of where that reporting is inaccurate, I think that's good to share with the American people, because the American people right now are concerned, as they should be, because almost every day we hear about either ISIS or Al-Qaeda infiltrating that southern border, coming across, being released into the United States, only to be picked up at a later date. And the American people are wondering, what kind of vetting are we doing? And where are they going? How long have they been here? And what are they doing once they are here in the United States? So I think there's definitely some cause for concern.
Chad, the numbers, according to our Sarah Williamson, 2023, 169 potential people with terrorist ties. Already this year, 80, so we're right on that track. You would know better than most. Do these groups like ISIS-K, and there we can see the number.
Hold on, let's pause this. Okay, so terrorist watch list encounters. This is only what we know about. God, what do you notice about that left-hand side column there? Who was our president, you guys? Donald Trump. Now, not a perfect job by any means, but remember, he was fighting with Democrats to fix this whole issue. Remember, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, there's this famous Oval Office meeting that there's cameras, and Donald Trump was fighting tooth and nail to sit there and get, is it tooth and nail? Is that how you say it? Either way, trying to get a border wall built. What you see there from 2021 to 2024, who was president? Dude, you guys, terrorists, Democrats, terrorists, wake up.
Numbers again, do they have the capabilities to get inside the United States? I don't want to scare the American public, but I think...
For those that are joining us, those numbers on the right-hand side are the Biden administration. That's the terrorists he's allowed into this country that we know about.
We have a right to know, and do you think they would plan to exploit it?
Yeah, absolutely. They have the ability and the capability to get into the United States, and right now it appears as though they're using the southern border. And when you have thousands of folks coming across that border every single day, Border Patrol law enforcement officers aren't able to sift through that. They're simply processing them as quickly as possible. So you look at just the 8 Tajikistan individuals who have an ISIS.
God, man, these people really clean up after themselves, huh? Just lovely. Guess where your money's going? Not to cleaning up your streets. No. Cleaning up the border is where your money's going. And the federal government's not paying for that. You're out of your mind. The states are paying for that. Yeah, Texas is paying for this. Isn't that just lovely?
Connection of some kind being released into the American community.
If they're willing to do this now, do you think that how do you think they're going to treat your city or locality? If they're willing to do this here like this, what do you think they're willing to do to your city or locality? They're going to treat it the exact same way.
Communities. I mean, that is evidence. Luckily, they have been picked up. But the question is, how many more remain here? How many more are in the got-away number that never see a law enforcement officer? And so
correct.
This idea to say that we are secure, it belies reality and the pictures that we see. And
so it goes on a little bit further. We might come back to that clip tonight. Again, we are going to go live for the debate, folks. Would love for you to join us. Bring your drinks. If you're not a drinker, if you've overcome alcohol addiction, kudos to you. God bless. And, just come and hang out with us. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not going to do too much talking because I just want us to watch it, but at least you'll see the reactions and you got somebody to hang out with if you're at home alone. So here's DHS Secretary saying these exact words that you just heard this other gentleman talking about, that at least 400 migrants with ISIS ties did not come in. It's not a thing. That didn't really happen.
DHS confirms that at least 400 migrants with potential ISIS ties recently crossed into the United States.
That is incorrect.
Tell us why.
That reporting is incorrect. We do not have identified 400 people with potential ISIS ties. And let me again assure you that individuals who are identified to have those ties would pose a concern to us from a public safety and a security perspective, and they would be priorities for detention and removal.
Calling that initial NBC report inaccurate of the 400 potential ISIS ties?
I think it is inaccurate.
Yeah, we're going to believe anything you say, dude. When you lied to Congress, you've lied to the American people, you've lied to your own people like boots on the ground. Dude, I'm going to lose it after that one. I'm a freaking, dude, it's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. And that's not me punching or being violent. That was just me just frustrated as hell when I hear this guy speak. This guy to me is what Karine Jean-Pierre is to you guys. Like nails on a chalkboard, okay? But so you guys have to suffer through the Karine Jean-Pierre clips with me. I listen to the briefing sometimes twice, right? I have to listen to this guy every day. And to me, he is worse than Karine Jean-Pierre. Like, he is the one guy that bugs me. And it's probably because immigration and our debt are the two biggest issues to me. And so when I hear a guy lying to people like he's doing, dude, it just gets me freaking riled up, man. And I'm doing a freaking great job holding it together after listening to that guy lie to all of you. One, because I like to think that I present you guys the truth. Like, I'm being honest with you. Yeah, there's some satire here. There's some things I say that I'm joking and that I'm not serious about. But I'm not sitting there going out of my way to try to, like, manipulate you guys or show you things that I think is fake. Of course, there's a bias. Like, I'm conservative Republican. I say that off the bat. And I'm being selective on what I do show you, which is all the hypocrisy and lies of the Democrat Party and the Biden administration. But I'm open about that's the whole purpose of my channel, is to say, hey, the media's lying. The media's rubbing the shoulder of the Democrat Party. They're utilizing their platforms to sit there and push the Democrat Party's narrative. Like, at least I'm open about it. But this guy's going to sit there and straight up lie to all of you. And that's fucked up. Even if you're a Democrat, man, I'm on your side in the sense of, like, dude, your own administration is straight up lying to you. And yes, Republicans lie to us as well. But, you understand what I mean. So the White House put out a memo. This was late yesterday, bragging about Biden's immigration policy, saying that he has taken decisive action. The New York Times has also reported that Biden's plan to go on the offensive on immigration during the debate. Again, we're going live for the debate tonight. The immigration is going to be brought up because it's a huge issue. So I am floored to hear what Joe Biden has to say. So here's Kayleigh McEnany. She's beautiful, man. This is, I think she needs to be press secretary again. I hope she does. She's not going to, but she's great. Why is it always Republican women look the best,
What a failure. What a failure. When you look at the number that has crossed the southern border, including gotaways, it is over 5 million. And that's just the southwest border, so the number's higher. And what's appalling to me, you know, do we have a vetting system? Like, look at that image. Do we have any sort of vetting system? They say we do. It doesn't appear we do. Several women have been killed. Now you have migrants who are apparently linked to ISIS that we're now looking for. But here's the cherry on top of all of that, the data that I just shared with you. A White House memo that they just put out from Andrew Bates to allies and interested parties. Check this out. They said that Biden took decisive executive action, and as a result, unlawful border encounters have plunged. They're literally bragging today at the White House about what they've done. And when you check out the New York Times, they say that Biden plans to go on the offensive on immigration on the debate. How do you go on offense when women have been killed? Jocelyn Ngare, Laken Riley, Rachel Moore, and you plan to go on offense? No, sir. Run far away from this issue.
Man, dude. I don't know how you go on the offensive. She is damn right. God, she's good. You're right, Pat. She is the GOAT. She's the best, man. I'd be curious to see if she's talked to Trump about, hey, here's some things I would do. Here's some things I wouldn't do. She's great. She has an awesome book. Of course, I'm going to help her plug it. Check out her book. I forgot what. I've read it. I can't believe. This is the Moment of Truth or something. I can't remember the name of the book. I freaking read it too. Really great. A lot of biblical things in there. A lot of things talking about her life. An extremely smart woman, going to law school, all that fun stuff. So here's some good news. Can we get some good news, guys? I mean, a lot of it's been negative. A lot of it's been bad. Texas is building the border wall, and we got the receipts. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Texas is continuing building the border wall, even though the Biden administration is trying to stop it from happening. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, yeah. As Trump would say, it's the biggest border wall that we're ever going to see. Elon Musk is going to colonize Mars, and they're going to be looking down saying, oh, is that Trump's wall? It's going to have Trump that says, come in legally. We want you here, the best workers. Texas is doing something about it. Look at that, huh? Look at them putting that in. Love to see it, man. I love to see it. And yeah, it's you know what? We're playing the whole 38 seconds. You're damn right. We're playing the whole 38 seconds. I'll play it again if I have to. Yeah, that's a beautiful sign right there. That is a beautiful, beautiful video, man. Oh, hey, it's a little rusty, but it still looks good. You guys, you want to know why these are rusty? Yeah, they've been out in the environment, but also the Biden administration was paying landowners rent to not build the border wall and just keep it laying there in the dirt. They were also using the metal for scrap and selling that as well. But don't worry, they're doing everything they possibly can. Joe Biden's losing sleep over it. Now, in terms of the election coming up, we have this. It's big news here. Democrats are reportedly throwing a tantrum, citing voter intimidation after the Tennessee Secretary of State notified 14,000 suspicious voters that they must prove their citizenship before the next presidential election. And the Democrats are losing their ish over it. Hey, man, you're kind of suspicious. We want to make sure that you're actually legit because you're about to be voting in the next election. And they're like, how could you do that? How could you make them prove citizenship, you bigots? God, you're such a threat to democracy. So we can actually use democracy for that one because that's what our voter whole election thing is. It's democratic.
This is a letter a select group of Tennesseans received from the state coordinator of elections. The letter reads that their voter information matches with an individual who may have not been a U.S. citizen at the time they got their driver's license.
Oh, man. Our office has received information that appears to indicate your voter information matches an individual who may not have been in the United States or a citizen at the time of obtaining. But God forbid we look into it. God forbid we make you actually make sure that you're legit.
Or ID card.
On its face, this letter is voter intimidation.
The letter then asks for the voter to send back proof of their citizenship, such as their birth certificates or U.S. passport.
If I got this, I'd be like, mind you, when I show up to vote, they don't require me to show ID. But I literally say, ma'am, is it okay if I actually show you my ID? Because I would like to verify that I am who I am. And she's like, sure, no problem. We got a lot of people that want to do that. Hand to God. Every single time I do that, they don't require me to do it, but I still do it because I want to prove who the hell I am. I'm a U.S. citizen, baby. And I'm going to use my right to vote, but I want to prove who I am because I don't want some asshole maybe stole my identity or some other person that's here illegal saying, oh, I'm Brad Roberts, I'm from this person, blah, 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 I live here, let me vote on behalf, and he votes Biden. No. I'm Trump, baby. Trump 2024 all the freaking way. And I say it loud and proud, man. 2016, 2020, I voted for the man. 2024, vote for Trump again. I show my ID, but don't worry, it's intimidation. Oh, these snowflakes, man.
And it gives the impression, falsely, that there is another procedural step that they must jump through before they can vote in the upcoming elections.
State Representative John Ray Clemens says a select group of voters, both here in Nashville and across the state, have received this letter.
One from whom we heard became a U.S. citizen in 2006, and they received the letter. So, they're pulling this list from somewhere.
That's Representative Clemens' biggest question, as he now calls on the Tennessee Attorney General to investigate why these voters were targeted.
I want an investigation. I want answers. The people I represent and the people across the state of Tennessee and all the other citizens of Tennessee deserve answers to this question. Why was this letter sent?
The letter also sends a strong reminder about the harsh penalties if you vote illegally, such as jail time and a $5,000 fine.
They don't need the coordinator of elections sending them a letter outlining the criminal law and the penalties for unlawful.
Okay. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, they're going to arrest people. Oh, you're going to be thrown in jail for doing this. Yeah, nothing happened to them in 2016. Nothing happened to them in 2020. You think anything's going to happen to them in 2024? Give me a break. Nothing's going to happen to them. Well, folks, we're going to be here live tonight, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be here, folks. I will try to schedule it, but we will be here. We will be here 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Brad, you show your ID in hopes that an election worker will reply, are you? Yeah, Brad from the Bald Brad Show. Get out of here, Brad. I have never been recognized, nor do I hope to be. I would think it's a joke. I think somebody would be playing a trick on me if I was walking. I was out with my wife the other day, and I was like, man, if somebody walked up and said, hey, are you Brad from the Bald Brad Show? I don't know what I would say. It'd be really weird for me, but I'd shake their hand and say thanks for watching if they do. I don't know. But that's funny. That didn't say Pat. Sorry, that's God, it's so, if you guys knew how tiny it is on my screen. Patriotic troll. Sorry, I said Pat. You are trolling, my friend. We'll be here live. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below, you guys. You see what YouTube's doing. And so I'm trying to sit there and figure out if we hit the like button and we leave comments like they say that we're supposed to do, because that builds like integration. You're interacting with the channel. That's supposed to send our videos out to more viewers. So if you write in the live chat, that doesn't count as a comment. As to why, I don't know. But if you take just anything, I don't care what you write in the comment section, it really does support us. If you want to go above and beyond, we're grassroots here. I work multiple jobs. I fund this whole thing myself, but we also have some patriots that help fund the channel. We have a membership tab. And that's why those with badges in the live chat, that means they donate money. It's 99 cents a month, not a day, a month, that goes towards helping us out. And then we have a $4.99 option and a $9.99 option that helps pay for advertising and all those other things. So I would really appreciate your support on that end. We have a book, we have a website, we have merch, all that fun stuff. But you just watching like you're doing, hanging out with us, that's what's most important, folks. I will see you tonight, 5:30. Be there or be square, folks. I will see you in a little bit, folks, here on the Bald Brad Show.